up, as I say, what we're going to do now is Chris Smith, who people might know as Travel Man in Lewes, he does a blog about travel. He's going to give you say a few words about the effect of the cuts and the increases to people using the buses. I'm part of Lewes Stop the Cuts. Lewes Stop the Cuts has organised this event, and anyone who wants to join Lewes Stop the Cuts, feel free to go on our email us, and we'll put you on the list. And then after Chris has spoken, we're going to have someone's going to read out comments from people that we've received about the impact on them of the bus cuts. And then after that, anybody who wants to come up and say something, how it's affecting them, will be free to do so. We like to hear from people how it really affects them. And then when that's finished, it won't take too long, then we're all going to go up the hill and we're going to walk on the road, okay? If anyone's worried about that, it's okay, don't worry about it, just do it. And I don't think it's enough of us. If we had 300 or 400 people, we'd do it. But, you know, unless people want to. How angry are people?
Very angry, very angry.
If you feel like it,
very angry.
do it. Okay, we just go for it. But we'll see how we feel at the time and how many people go up the hill. Okay, so I'm going to hand over to Chris Smith to say a few words, and then someone else will come up and speak. Okay, thanks.
Hey.
I want you to imagine that the council announces that it's going to increase the council tax by 30%. They'd never get away with it.
No.
But when they come to increase the bus fares on the routes that they pay for by the same amount, they think they can get away with that. And I hope we're going to make sure that they can't.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
So, if the council have their way on all of the routes that they subsidise as socially essential, that's pretty much all the purple and white buses in Lewes, plus some of the Brighton evening services, the fares on nearly all of those will go up by 30%. And to give you some idea what that means in practice, a fare to Newhaven return from Lewes bus station would go up from about £4.50 to £6.20. And that's nearly twice what it costs on the train. And of course that's the idea. The idea is to try and dissuade everybody they possibly can from riding on the buses. And then they can cut the buses even more.
Yeah.
But just to be going on with, there will be quite large bus cuts if they get their way. The Neville and the Lamport buses, for example, will be cut from once every half hour to 1 an hour. Originally they'd intended that they would be once every 2 hours. But the buses to Chailey and to Newhaven, which are currently roughly 1 an hour, most of the time will be 1 every 2 hours. So that's an awful long time to wait about when you've done your shopping in Lewes to get back to Chailey. Attractive though our town is, of course. It's a long time to sit in the bus station with your veg. If you're in Barkham, it's even worse, because they currently only have a bus every 2 hours, and they are going to have a bus most of the time every 2 days a week. Right, so that's 3 days you'll be sitting here with your shopping in Barkham, waiting for the bus. How did we get here?
Bus.
The bus, yes, of course we did. But how did the buses get to this state?
They were privatised.
In the 1980s, the then Conservative government decided that anyone could run a bus service at a profit, if they wanted to, without a licence or pretty much anything. And those services that are run at a profit are the 29 and the 28 services in the daytime and in the evening to Brighton. All the rest, the council had to subsidise. So Brighton and Hove put the profit from the 28 and the 29 in their pockets, and we have to pick up the tab for all the other bus services, the socially essential bus services. In the coalition government, Bus Minister Norman Baker cut general funding to councils, cut the fuel grant and other subsidies to the council, and the council now wants to save 1.8 million. The government did put out some new funding, but it was mainly aimed at capital projects, benefiting largely big companies. But before we just blame the government, East Sussex County Council has spent £56 million of our council tax money on top of the government money on one link road in Hastings and Bexhill.
Yeah.
And they also have huge reserves. And they're also making $800,000 a year out of parking fees, not one penny of which goes towards subsidising the bus service. Now you might think that when the council says we want to encourage people to ride on buses, as the council said last week in a press release. But if they really mean it, why not put at least a penny of those parking fees towards the buses? So this is an unnecessary fare rise, it's an unnecessary cut. Nor has the council publicised the services. Some of you put out one piece of publicity about it. If you want to find out the fares or you want to find out the times, it's quite difficult. So the county hasn't publicised the buses. The county would rather run down the buses so it doesn't have to pay for them. So, here we are. I'll get on with you in a minute.
The condition of our roads, rural roads, but also the young drivers. And so these bus cuts are forcing more young drivers onto the road. So I'm arguing it. I have always argued that the parking money should go towards the buses. I was assured it would do years ago. Found out it doesn't anymore. So I'm absolutely on your side. I'll be speaking at Cabinet. It's part of my portfolio, and I will be urging it to go to full council. Thank you.